example that I would use is the work that we've been doing on behalf of the government and the people of the Bahamas, where the things that I would want to emphasize there is the things that we've been talking about, in that it takes trust. It takes trust building. That takes a long time to establish. But I really want to give a shout out to Open Society Foundations, and in particular, Yemi Dagnet, for being willing to put the first dollars in for the design and execution of that program. Because getting the first dollars in for catalytic finance in place-based work is critical. You know, in the example that I gave before for Liberia, the first dollars in were coming from, you know, the World Bank. In this context, it is a foundation that has, through a 3-year grant, given RCV the runway to be able to do the design and the engagement with various capital sources to be able to deliver for the people of the Bahamas. And so, in terms of the components, they're all there. It's the knowledge specific domains, it is making sure that you understand the context for the investments that are going to be made. And context really matters, because one of the things, to use the Bahamas as an example, it's a small country, but that doesn't mean that the investments made are all small. Mega resorts in the Bahamas are, you know, upwards of $3 to $5 billion. There are hot water or heating and cooling systems for those mega resorts that require capex of, you know, several hundreds of millions of dollars, even though the Bahamas is a small country. And so one of the things that we have had to do in doing this work in the Bahamas in particular is to educate our community of counterparties about the nature of the demand, and therefore the nature of the returns, the sort of the return profile that they would be facing if they were to come in with us on, you know, investing in sustainable infrastructure and so on in that part of the world. And as I said before, the Caribbean has some very specific aspects that are not similar to Liberia, that are not similar to Angola, that are certainly not similar to South Africa, which are places that I have, you know, also been involved in raising capital.